Yeah, name's Weenk. I run Alliance Training Center, so I've been training fighters for '07, I guess, the first fighters I put in. So coming on 20 years now.
Mm.
Kin degree, so I did that. So I got my kin degree, do personal training and stuff, and then I just run my kind of private gym. So it's yeah, fun place. We got boxing. This guy knows about the boxing we got there, and then we've got yeah, Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, weight training center. Yeah, so that's what keeps me busy every day when I'm not at home taking care of the family. So yeah,
Yeah, that's something. So 2007, I was in grade 10.
yeah, I was already an old man by that point.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I so one thing about you is you run a gym, a business. You run and own a gym. You have a family, plus private training, plus you work out. You work on your own fitness.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you how do you do all of that, and
Uh,
how do you kind of stay consistent? Because you're probably one of the most consistent people I know as well.
yeah, I just don't give myself an option not to.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just, yeah, we got to work out every day because that's what you guys are there for. Is if I'm not leading by example, people aren't going to follow much of my advice. Is kind of the way I look at it. So got to
Mm,
lead it by example. Definitely one of the hardest things is managing your time with family. Making sure I'm a present dad for my kids, my wife, and then making sure that I'm also present for all my fighters and then present for my training clients. That's the hardest part I find. That took a bit of time to kind of let go of the reins a bit and start saying, you know what, I can't go to every fight event. I'm going to have to let some of my other guys coach for me. And I've got a good crew of guys now that I can trust to go out there and do the job well for me. And they do. Like we had one of my guys, Lee Hagel, just cornered my guys last weekend. Both had good performances. Their kickboxing fights. So it
yeah.
was nice where it's like, man, I can go. They're going to perform well. And I don't have to be there to do all the work. I can spend the weekend watching my boy play football and running my girls to their activities and not be 100% consumed with that anymore, which is pretty important, I think, it's like when you got kids, like you got, they don't remember how my fighters did,
Right.
but they remember if I was at their football games and drove them to their activities, like those things they remember. And my fighters they're gonna do good without me anyway because we did all the work already. We got good corner guys. Like start to realize I'm not that important, you know. like
Yes, you are.
they're there, but like at the same time, it's just like they can succeed without me, and they do. Like so, they don't need me to hold their hand all step of the way, and that's took some getting used to that idea because I was kind of used to being really hands on with every aspect of everything, and then you
Mm.
realize there's only so many hours in a day. I've got to manage life, you know. So
How did you? Because that's like a big one in, I think, business ownership in general is like trusting other people.
yeah,
So when did you realize you needed to start doing that?
um, yeah, I would say in the last 5 years, probably really. Because my kids are getting old enough where it's like, hey, like we're a busy family now. We got to get these kids to everything. And also, it took me that long to have a support staff of guys who were quality human beings who I knew could do the job. There's other guys I knew could do the job, but you're always like, "Man, you're a shifty guy. Like, I don't know if I want you out there representing us for one.
Right.
I don't know that I can trust you to be there for the fighter 100% or, what your goal is in this." Like, so it took a while to have a team of guys around me where it's like, yeah, we're all on the same team here. We're all on board making the same thing happen.
Mm.
And I can 100% trust you to be out on the road with these guys and you know, represent our team honorably and represent yourself and help the guys the way they need to be helped, all that stuff. So, yeah, that's for about 5 years, I would say. So it took a long time to build that.
Right.
Yeah, because it was, yeah, '07 is when I kind of started coaching. '08 is when I opened a business. So it's really been since then of building and trial and error. And you can think you've got everything built and ready to go. And then all of a sudden the carpet's pulled out from under you. And you're like, well, that's over. Time to rebuild a new thing.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. So, and then you just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I guess so for so for you, um, you started by competing,
yeah,
uh, and you did MMA and kickboxing,
yeah, yeah,
and then transitioned into coaching,
yeah.
or did you start coaching while you were competing still?
Well, I started coaching with the plan to compete still,
Okay.
but then the coaching just took over, and
Mhm.
then it became like I can't prepare myself like I'm preparing everyone else.
Right.
Yeah. So well, we'll get into that. It's a bit of a long story, so we'll get into it. So yeah, I first started fighting in 1998 was my first fight, kickboxing fight. And I took that fight. I'd been training about a year, but like off and on, inconsistent, just, training for not the fun of it, just to learn martial arts in general. And then the coach I had at the time was just said, "Hey, you should go fight." So like, sure, I'll go fight. Sparred a total of probably a round and a half
Nice.
and then go fight. So yeah, I had my first fight, and I remember this event. It was in Balgony, Saskatchewan, just outside Regina.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I fought. This was like probably a school gym. It was a gym of some sort. There was a decent crowd though. There was 1,000+ people, so it was a good crowd. And in this era, in the late '90s, kickboxing actually had pretty good head of steam behind it. There was a lot of events, and they were well attended. So it was kind of fun to like walk out. It's like, wow, like there's a real crowd, and they're really into it. And yeah, I walked out. I got punched in the face hard the first time. Couldn't see. So my vision just went completely. Felt like it was like I was blind for an eternity. It might have been 2 seconds, but you know how fights are. It's like when something like that happens, it time changes, it loses all meaning. And I just remember thinking, was this when guys fall down? I'm not gonna fall down. And then I just took a step back and my vision came back and he was coming at me like guns blazing. And I just put a straight right hand down the middle and dropped him like a sack of potatoes. And then he got back up. He made the 8 count, but he wasn't steady. I got on him, gave him another 8 count, and then the round ended. And then round two came out, and I was still running high on the adrenaline. So I took it to him again, another 8 count. They didn't end the fight, though. I thought they were going to end it that time, but they didn't quite end it because I think they could see that my adrenaline rush was wearing down and the crash was about to start. And then it started. Then I got real tired, really tired. And then I got through the rest of the round. I won that one 10-8. So the first round 10-7, second round 10-8. So I knew going to the third, it's like all I have to do is not die. But I don't know if I can do that. I'm real tired. And I remember at points, like there's a few points I remember, like there was, I don't know, probably like 45 seconds left in the fight. And it's like, nobody would care if I quit right now, would they? Like, no one actually cares if I win, do they? But I was
Mhm.
like, I can't do that. Like, I'm winning by so much. I have to finish this off. And then I did, and I won the decision. Threw up for hours afterward of
Yeah.
just exhaustion and adrenaline, and like it'd been not like nothing I ever felt in my life. But I did it.
Yeah.
And then I went and sat down in the crowd with my dad. My dad was always a good athlete his whole life. Every sport he played, he won. He was just good at sports in general. And he knows what sports look like. Like he never fought, but he knows what boxing is. Watching it on TV, he knows who's winning. He knows who's good. He can spot it right away, and he could that and everything. And I remember I sat down and watched the rest of the fights, and it was like windmill punching and heads turning away. And I was just like, said to my dad, "Is this how I looked?" And he's like, "God, no." Because I'd tell you to stop right now if that's how you looked. I was like, "Thank God." It's like, "No, you hit. Like you had hands up, and you looked like a boxer you see on TV. Like, you hit hard, and it was real." It's like, "Oh, thank God," because the rest of the card was just atrocious. You've
Yeah.
seen those, right? Like
Yeah.
just windmills, turn their hand away and punching with two hands at once. Like, what? Oh God. But you don't know what you really looked like in there. And it's just like embarrassment came over. It's like, oh God, if I looked that horrible in there. Like, no. So then I fought some more and did okay in kickboxing. I won a Western Canadian title. And at one point, I was number 2 ranked guy in Canada in my weight class. The only guy above me was a guy named Jason Gillane, who was a world champion at the time. He was good. I wasn't catching him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I switched over to MMA. Didn't do great in MMA, but it was just a learn on the job kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I went and trained Husky wrestling for a bit. Just went to practices. Got annihilated at practices for a while, but learned a lot. And then I would train like Muay Thai. I would go to Mike Miles Gym in Calgary to go train my Muay Thai as best I could and learn what I could from him while I was there, kind of like on like reading week and stuff like that in university. About the same time, I was working 40 hours a week and a university student. So I've always been chaos. It's
Yeah.
been, yeah, always been like the only learned at a young age. The only way I'm getting anywhere is to work my butt off.
Right.
There's no handouts for me. There's no funding. There's no bursaries. There's nothing that comes to you other than whatever you can earn. So,
Mhm.
and learned that from day one from my dad that all you get is what you can get. That's it. So don't expect anybody to help you. Just go.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So yeah, I was working at the Brick 40 hours a week while I was also taking 4 classes a semester in university and fighting.
Crazy.
Yeah, not a lot of spare time, but
Yeah.
that was good for me too. Keeps your nose clean.
So did you
Yeah,
did you feel like that affected your training?
yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
only way I could do it because I couldn't afford to go anywhere otherwise.
Right.
I didn't have any money, so like the only way I had money is working. Then most of that would go to pay school, and then go to train. So it was yeah, it was a hard way to do it, but gave me the work ethic I've always had now. Like,
Mhm.
it just, yeah, right away. It was just right out of high school, get to work and go.
Right.
And it's been my whole life. I'm 45 now. It's like, man, it's been a grind.
Yeah. It's funny because
Yeah.
like Mark, he's always like, uh, I wish I had Graham's discipline. I don't know how he eats the same meal every day,
Yeah.
and he comes to the gym happy every day.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they think I'm happy. I'm
I
fooling
know,
everybody.
I know.
No, I'm pretty happy in general.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Frustrated and tired like all of us. But
yeah,
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 I mean, I can't complain at all. Like it's things have worked out pretty decent. Like there's
right.
been a lot of ups and downs. I was talking to my fighters about this. Valentin, our Ukrainian guy, he always asks me the most blunt questions, like just the most blunt of just like, how did you do this? How did you become a gym like this? So gave him the real story. It's like, well, 3 points in my life, it was all or nothing. It's
Mhm.
either I'm gonna fail or I'm gonna succeed now because I have no dollars left. I put it all into it, and now it's go time or it's done. And got through them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember the first one was back in 2008 is when I first started the gym. I started my own business. So prior to that, I was coaching, but I was renting a space from a guy and kind of working under his business. And then it just kind of things came to a point where it's like, well, I have to do my own now. Like, I can't keep having someone else take a ton of the revenue I'm bringing in. I've got to find my own way to do it. So decided to open the gym in '08, and that was an experience too. Again, I
Mhm.
also got to learn the hard way that like nothing's given to you. So me and the guy who were starting it, we had personal training clients lined up. I had my fight school membership lined up, and we went into bank after bank to look for a business loan to get started. I had my roommate at the time was a commerce guy, so he wrote my business plan for me. Of just like these are the points they want to see because I didn't know how to do that. So I
Right.
said, well, I don't know what do we do for a business plan. So I told him, well, this is our business. This is how I know we can pay for it. I said, okay, I'll do a business plan for you. And every bank I went into, well, 2 of them didn't even look at our business plan. Said, well, we're opening this gym. Oh, yeah, anyway, leave. We're not giving you a dime. Okay. Then the next one, they finally
Because
asked, well, how much do you guys want? And we wanted a whopping sum of 15,000 each. We could do it on 15 grand a piece. No, we were not giving you that. It's like, oh, okay. So eventually I just got a private loan and paid it back with interest. And then my business partner, he got his fiance to get the loan because she could check one of the boxes that we can't, that they do like giving loans to. Is a female entrepreneur. Boom, you got it.
mm,
So they gave it to her, and then she gave it to us, and then we got
right,
rolling. But yeah, we did it on like a shoestring budget. Like we took only what we needed to buy the equipment to start because we were both of the mindset is we can't start this thing and have a loan payment that kills us.
right.
We have to start it small, build it, and then when the cash flows in, we expand.
Mm,
And so that's the way we did it. But then what ended up happening that had me kind of looking at the end of things was he didn't hold up his end of the bargain. So he put down his first payment, but then he just couldn't keep up with the rent and the bills. So after 2 years of that, when I'm like nothing left, we got $200 left to my name, I had to talk to him. I said, like, you haven't been paying your portion of things, and like, I can't keep covering for you. So we can go through a court thing if you want, or just sign everything over to me
Mm.
because you owe me way more than you put in. So he just signed everything over to me, and I kept him on as a trainer because, you know, I didn't see any point in making an ugly separation of any kind. Like, I can still use an extra pair of hands around here.
Right.
You can work at it here, but you're no longer an owner. And then once that happened, that was in 2010. I was 30 years old. Yeah, and I had $200 left on July 23rd, my 30th birthday. And rent for the gym was coming out on the 1st of August. It's like, well, I got 7 days to get. At that point, that building wasn't terribly expensive, and this was in 2010. So buildings were a lot cheaper then. So it was like $4,000 I had to get together in 7 days. So yeah, just once I took over everything, all the memberships came to me and said, okay, there's enough here to do this. I revamped how the whole business is run, so I didn't have his input anymore. And a year later, I bought my first house. So
Wild.
yeah, so once I got my handle on things, it went better.
Right.
Yeah, so that was number one time of I probably actually failed, but I wasn't going to accept it.
Yeah.
And then number two time is when I moved into the building we have now in 2013. We decided we're going to go a lot bigger. I had a big pro fight team at the time, 20 plus guys fighting pro. So I was like, I'm going to build the best facility.
Mm.
And so I did. So I got full weight training in, cage in, giant mat space, all this. The thing I didn't see coming is it seemed to create a bit of resentment along my team because they seem to think if I can afford this thing, I must have a lot of money and I should be, I don't know, giving them gifts or I don't know what they expect out of me. But for some reason, they should be getting more of my business for some reason. And now, little did they know, that was every dime I had. Everything was gone. And it was, again, a situation where it's like, okay, I put it all in here and now I got to make it fly again.
Mm.
And then I did, and we got rolling again, and things went okay. And I was just head above water for about 2 years. And that's when the rug got pulled out the third time. And that's when my whole fight team decided they were going to open their own place up and didn't really discuss things with me of what was going on. And it's a bit blindsiding, but it happens.
Right.
And in the long term, it's the best thing that ever happened to me
Mm.
because my business was never going to grow to what it is in the environment I had going at the time.
Right.
So once that happened, then it was, okay, rebuild again. 2014, 15, that was. And that was rebuild the third time. And it's been feeling pretty good since then. So that's a decade now. And things are going well. And I've met, you and Vicky, Eric Wilson. I got just solid people around me.
Yeah.
And you guys bring in great quality. I feel like I treat everybody fair. That was a quote my dad always told me was, pigs get fed, but hogs get slaughtered. So you can't be a hog. You got to get what's yours, but you cannot be taking more than yours because it will sink you. And I've
Right.
always done my business on that regard of making sure that when all you guys come in, I'm not taking more than I should from you guys. I want to make sure it all works,
Yeah.
but not like getting greedy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so
And it's one thing
Yeah.
I've noticed, and one thing I tell everyone is how easy you are to work with. Like, you make it very welcoming, you make it very easy. And like the culture at the gym, I've trained at so many gyms.
Yeah.
I've like trained at gyms for months, for years. I've popped into gyms. The welcomeness and culture at your gym is the best.
No, that's good to
Everyone's
hear.
just kind, welcoming, open arms, and you feel like a team.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've been places. I've trained at a gym for like 6 years and still didn't feel like I was part of that gym
Yeah.
because of the cliques and
Yeah.
like these people are over here, and then it's just like a weird like high school feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas at your gym, like, it just feels like home.
Yeah, and that was the big thing that was happening in that 2014-15 timeframe is I could see that starting where those cliques were building, new people weren't being welcomed in by the older generation of guys from the gym. And I think that's part of where things started falling apart is where I didn't like that. And I was just like, well, we can't do this. And I would talk to the guys a lot about like, okay, I know this guy's brand new, but you don't know when your best training partner who's ever existed could walk in the doors. You
Mm,
don't know who he
right.
is. So you treat him like that. They don't join in and they were kind of like, whatever. You need us more than we need you, kind of an idea sort of thing. It's like, well, all right. So then once that whole thing happened, that was my number one goal. I was like, that's not happening again. Like we're yeah, exactly like you said, like you gotta be welcoming because this is a scary environment for a person to walk into.
Yeah.
Like everyone who walks in the doors is intimidated on day one,
Yeah.
no matter who you are. So and you gotta remember you were that day one guy too. The first time I walked into a karate class, I remember being intimidated beyond belief
Mhm.
because I was 16 and I was like, I'm way too old to be starting this. These guys are all black belts at my age, was my mindset. I'm gonna look like a fool. And you realize, oh no, lots of people started then at lots of different times. You're fine.
Right.
But yeah, and that was the big thing. And I've seen a few times where it begins. And now like I talk to people immediately. As soon as I start seeing it, I was like, no, 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 this doesn't happen. You don't get to treat people like that when they come in here. And I have lost a few members where I've had to give them a bit of a hard talking to. It's like if you can't be more welcoming to the new people coming in, like you can't stay here. I've
Mm,
only had that twice. And those people, yeah, they end up leaving and then coming back.
right.
They left for a bit and they came back with a much better attitude and kind of getting over their own ego and realizing, oh yeah, right. Like as much as it's all is a team, it still isn't actually mine. Like
Mm,
I'm not the one paying the rent every month. I'm not the one keeping the lights on, fixing all the broken equipment and ordering new stuff and all that. Right. So yeah, so both those times, both those people came back with just a much better attitude and it was really good.
mhm.
Uh, yeah, I've done that lots, and I talked to the guys lots about that. Like we were talking about in jujitsu the other night, is I know it's really good to work with the same partner all the time, so you guys know each other. But you know what? You also got to work with the new guys who come in because they're going to learn a lot faster when they
Right.
work with you. When you got two brand new white belts working together who've never trained a day in their life, they probably leave not having learned anything.
Right.
They've they've spent so much time confused, just trying to figure out their first grip. Whereas if they work with one of the higher belts, they're gonna progress 20 steps in one night as opposed to half a step.
Mm,
Yeah, and the guys are great about it. Like, oh yeah, I forget about that sometimes. I said, what we should do, let's make some groups of three, new guy with two experienced guys who like training together, throw a new guy in with you. And we'll work that in a bit and it works great. Keeps the new guys feeling like they're part of it. They're improving faster.
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's it's good that like you said, like like the rebuild was a blessing,
yeah, it was.
you
Yeah.
know? And it's funny because like how you just said like that was you before, like you were the new guy.
Yeah.
And I always felt like that even like honestly when I was an electrician,
Yeah.
like how the journeyman in like fourth years treat the new
Yeah.
apprentices, and that bugged me. I'm just like you were treated like that and you were complaining and you hated it. And now you're
Yeah.
treating them like that.
Yeah. No
It's
kidding.
like
Hey.
such a odd mentality
Yeah.
to have.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's cool that you noticed that and changed it because I don't feel like that at all at Alliance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal. And, I was really fortunate to have my jujitsu coach. He's a phenomenal guy, Jeff Wiley. He's,
Mm.
yeah, now he's busy being a commando, jumping out of helicopters and chasing down like border jumping illegal like people running through our country. And he like literally jumps out of helicopters and chases them down and tackles them in fields and stuff. And this is
Oh
what he's
wow.
doing for work. And he's like almost 50 years old.
Wild.
He's just a savage. But yeah, he'd experienced a lot of things that I experienced, but about 5 years before me. And I remember the first time he started filling me in on the signals of what's going on. I didn't want to believe him because, like, no, no, I've known these guys since they first started. There's no way this could be happening. And then he was right, and I was
Mhm.
wrong. And then after that happened, he was one of the best guys to talk to me about, man, just the welcoming environment you have to have, you know, checking egos at the door and talk about it regularly. And is really fortunate to have him as a mentor and coach
Right.
because, yeah, he'd been through it all already. And I missed the one tip he gave me, and it cost me for the, temporarily. Then after that, I was like, yeah, I got to take to heart what this guy's telling me. He knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
And it's worthwhile information. Make sure I'm taking it all in and not ever thinking, oh, well, not me. That's
Right.
the stupidest thought in the world you can have.
Yeah.
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 I was like, no, no. As soon as you think that, it's almost definitely you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're just a couple steps behind already, most likely.
Right.
So, yeah.
Then I guess for you as a coach, what like if someone asked you like what your style of coaching is, how would you answer that?
Me right now, um, well, I've always been in the mix as much as I can. I don't do it as much as I used to. Like I used to every night be doing the pad work with the guys too to like show them like this is how you go hard.
Mm,
I don't do that as much anymore because we just have too many people now and I have to be correcting technique with everyone and stuff like that. It's just too big of a crew for me to jump in and do those things too
right.
often. Every now and again, if I recognize guys are getting a bit lackadaisical, I'll be like, all right, time for the old man to show you guys how to work hard. Let's get
Mhm.
to it. But I make sure I grapple every day. I make sure I'm on the mats like 5 days a week, every week. I make sure I get some mat time in. Um, that came from when I was training Faraz as a hobby. He was just said to me one day, he goes, make sure you're on the mats every day. Every day be on the mats. If you're injured, you do what you can when you're injured. If you're, if you see some guys that need some elevating, you give them rounds, you're gonna elevate them. You don't have to kick their butt every day. You can go in and let them work and give them a bit of feedback here and there, give them a bit of resistance here and there, but let them find some success and but make sure you're on those mats every day. Yeah, I really took that to heart and I've made sure I do that now. My early days too, I still spar with the guys all the time and I still do actually the same thing, but now I tell people I'm doing it because there was a time where guys were getting a bit of a false idea. And I don't want to talk too much shit or anything, but oftentimes if I saw my guys be sparring ready for a fight, it's not going well. I would step in and I would be the punching bag.
Mm,
I would give them openings. I'd let them hit me. I would never hit them hard. I'd never hit guys hard sparring ever. Never hit guys hard when I'm sparring. And I would give them windows and let them land, let them build confidence. I don't tell them I'm doing it because then it defeats the whole purpose.
right.
The purpose is for them to build their confidence back up. And it's like I can see right now his confidence is beat to hell because he has got annihilated 3 rounds in a row. He's got to fight 3 weeks. He can't go into that mindset. So I'm gonna take on a lot of sparring role, and I've been fortunate to have a good chin. I also roll with punch as well. Don't tend to get hurt a whole lot. The odd I've had a couple concussions over the years, but not many. And kind of like you, I watch you spar too. Like you're good at just not really taking a ton of punishment. And I've always been pretty good at that too, but I could still let them land and let them build and let them build their confidence back up because it's a big thing when you step in the ring and in the cage is you have to feel like you can win.
Yeah.
And if all training camp has been getting your butt kicked by guys who are maybe more experienced or bigger or just have an edge on you in some way, well, you're probably going to lose your fight too if all you've learned is losing, right? So I would do that a lot and I still do. Except now I do talk to guys, but not during their cast, but a little bit more. It's like, look, I'm not sparring every round to win. Like, I'm going to spar with you guys, help you get better. That's it. Like that's my goal. I'm not fighting anymore. So why do I need to go? But I could see some guys were, back in the old days, we're getting a bit of the feeling of like, wow, we're getting the better of him every day. And I remember one of my fighters, Trevor Francois, mentioned to one of the guys who had said something along those lines and goes, well, who hits the pads the hardest? Oh, yeah, he's kicks the hardest and knees the hardest and stuff, but I'm getting the better. I was like, well, why do you think that is? And it's just like, sort of like, probably not. It's probably not hitting you very hard. Like, duh. but anyway, that was just the adventures you have in this game. And it's
Yeah.
just yeah.
I still see it today,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
boxers who talk like they're winning or losing in sparring,
Yeah.
and, like, I don't know I don't really know where that comes from or how. Because even sometimes I'll be like, "You didn't win anything."
No,
Like,
sparring.
you're practicing, you're
Yeah.
learning, some days you're gonna come in here and you're just gonna have the worst day, and you're
Yeah.
gonna lose every single round.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be like you're not gonna be able to move as whatever. Maybe you had a
Yeah.
big workout yesterday, so
Yeah.
you're just slow. So now it's just like
Yeah, exactly.
you're just gonna work on something,
Yeah.
maybe. Maybe just gonna work on, like, your defense or your
Yeah.
but then it's just like, "Oh, I think I won that round, or I lost that round," or and I don't know how to maybe, like, even just, like, make people not care.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And even, I go back to what I was just talking about, like, there could have been lots of these guys could have killed me. I'm not saying like, "Oh, I could beat them all." That's not, but the thing is that wasn't the point. The point wasn't to win a fight. We were sparring.
Right.
It was practicing like that. And if we both went in and into the cage and fought, there's a very good chance you would have killed me.
Mm,
I don't question that at all. That very well could be the case. But the bigger things, that wasn't the point. The point is, are we getting better? That's the point. Are you improving? Or did you just fight on instincts the whole time? You know,
right.
and that's kind of, yeah. It's like, it's a conversation kind of what Trevor said and stuff too. Is like, yeah, like this is sparring, man. This isn't a fight. And
Mhm.
yeah, you might kill him every time. Who knows? But again, that's not the point. And the point is, are we getting better? That's what we're trying to do here.
I think that's
Yeah.
why a lot of the high level athletes just have their training partners
Yeah, for sure.
because they just have trust in them,
Yeah,
trust that they're not gonna
for sure.
snap or freak
Yeah.
out or try and,
Yeah.
all of a sudden someone's recording something, so they have to look extra good
Oh,
or,
for sure.
um,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
you can't like it's not like George St. Pierre is sparring with everyone at the gym.
Yeah.
He's gonna spar with the guys that are gonna help him.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and then in Saskatoon it just kind of sucks sometimes at how small it is
Yeah.
because you only get a certain amount of guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah, it's only, yeah,
and then the
so you
high
guys.
level guys is even less,
Yeah.
which is sometimes a tough thing.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, this is one other big thing I did with the gym that really, really helped is like back when, you're like, "Hey, I have the team, you guys train at this gym. We're all, like we're all here all the time." Whereas in the recent years, I've completely let go of that idea. If a guy says, "Hey, I want to go cross train a bit with these guys," yeah, go for it. Definitely.
mm,
Definitely. Like, we had a pretty good operation running for a while with that Andrew Hansen's team, where you have a ton of his guys would come in, do open mat with us. We'd have guys go do open mat with them. Some of my guys are training there now because their schedule works better. Some of his guys come over to our gym and train there when our schedule fits their work schedules and stuff. And it's all like, we're glad to train together. We're not trying to poach each other's students and convince each other's students, hey, this is the better place. And,
right,
it's all just you go, yep, train together. And we both have enough confidence in what we provide that if someone makes the choice to go to switch gyms, it's just a better fit for them, you know, and
definitely,
that's cool. It
yeah,
can be a better fit if that one fit you better. My team fits you better for what you want. That's cool. If his team fits you better, no worries.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's been it's nice having that where it's just like, yeah, we're not trying to kneecap each other and steal each other's students at all. We both have confidence in our product, and our products are different enough, which is nice too.
mhm,
Because mine is much more of the MMA all inclusive kind of a product, and he's very sports jujitsu.
right.
So if you're a guy who really wants heavy duty sport jujitsu,
That's the
man,
guy.
yeah, he's pretty solid with it. Makes good sense, right?
Yeah,
And if you're a guy who's looking a bit more into the MMA aspects of things, or even just the actual fighting self-defensive aspects of things, with what we've got going at our place, that's a good fit for that between me and Eric Wilson and some of the team there. Like this is going to be more that realm.
mm,
And yeah, so it works well that we can just cooperate, no hard feelings. And we have guys who will get a hold of some guys from our team and say, hey, this guy, like they'll get a hold of a guy from my team who's really good at a few things and say, hey, will you come to our gym for a bit to train with me? I want to tighten up these holes. Go for it. And what's cool is my guys now, they'll be, hey, I got invited to go do this. You cool with that? Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
That's nice.
Yeah, do it. It's why would we, as Andrew and I have talked, like there's business for all of us,
Mhm.
you know. We don't need to be trying to undercut each other or take each other's knees out here or have the false pretense of no, it's just a friendly open mat. Anyway, while you're here, have you looked at our membership options? Like no, it's
Yeah.
dirty, man. That's dirty, dirty game.
When did your, like, mentality switch on that?
It was probably around 2013 when I opened the gym up,
So
and
quite early then. Yeah.
yeah, around that time frame, but I didn't quite know how to implement it yet. But I wanted to start doing it. I just didn't know how to go about it yet. And then it probably took, yeah, really once Andrew Hansen opened his own gym up, and then I had a guy that we were on a similar wavelength where we could talk to each other about that stuff and just have an honest conversation. And then we're like, yeah, why not, man? We can do it. We can do these things. Like a lot of other cities do it. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see a lot of the Edmonton fighters are training at lots of different places, right?
Right.
I mean, it's all
Or they'll
cool.
bring in a specific coach
Yeah,
to help them with something where they're
yeah,
lacking.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
maybe they're up against an opponent who's really good at
Yeah,
this skill.
yeah,
So they bring somebody in or they'll go somewhere who's really good at this one thing.
yeah,
And like that makes sense to me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you? Like, I mean, none of us know it all. Like,
Right.
you learn as much as you can, but like, no one knows it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even for coaching, because when I was coaching with Hub City before it closed, uh like volunteering
yeah,
coaching also.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And one of the managers there, because I would go train when Jose had his gym for a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then I was still with uh I'd pop into Shears, I'd pop in like I'd pop in all these places, even though I was coaching there. And he pulled me in to the office and said, like, even for coaching, he's like, hey, if you're gonna coach here, you can't go train at these other gyms. I'm like,
wow.
man, like, for one, I volunteer.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah,
here, but like,
yeah.
I'm not getting paid, so
Wow.
I'm probably still gonna go train at those other
Yeah,
gyms,
yeah,
and like, you can just decide what you want,
yeah,
if you want me here or not. But
yeah.
I just told I'm still gonna train at those places,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
like, I'm not getting paid for this. So
It was wild. Like,
yeah, and then that's when I started uh coaching people out of my garage.
yeah,
Was when
yeah,
that kind of happened.
yeah, yeah. That's good stuff. Like, just
So
so
strange.
anyway, thanks for volunteering your time, but
Yeah.
we now have complete control over you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It
yeah.
was freaking it was odd.
Oh yeah, that's weird, man.
Um, but okay, for one thing I was gonna chat with you about, like, when it comes to now that you've been through, like, you've had a lot of coaches in your life,
Yeah.
obviously, and now you've been coaching for quite a while. Um, when you think about going back to when you were fighting, what are some things you wish you had or that you wish you knew when you were competing that you know now?
Oh, that's why I started my gym is because I wanted a gym that has all under one roof and where you're learning like one inclusive system. Because I knew it when I was training was Husky wrestling practice, Mike Miles Muay Thai, or Trevor Smadich. I trained with a fair bit back in those days too. He had a gym too that was an affiliate of Mike's, and I'd kind of go to Trevor's a bit and Mike's a bit, and Trevor's was more like it was. Um, you'd learn a lot, and you'd feel good when you left. Super nice guy, really welcoming environment, and then Mike's downtown gym was you had to earn your stripes in there because they
Mhm.
didn't want you in there. It seemed like when you walked in the doors, it was kind of like, who's this guy? Why are you
Right.
here? You're not ready for this. And I wasn't. But, showed up and tried my best and went after it. But the biggest thing was you're learning bits and pieces. And then I was doing jujitsu with the Japanese jujitsu guy named Mike Masal, who is a tremendous grappler. And but he was a busy guy, so we could train real intermittently whenever he had the time to do it. We'd get together and train. But it was just scrapping together all these pieces. And I was like, man, like it's hard to figure like it's okay, I'm standing and moving one way in Muay Thai, then wrestling practice a whole different thing. And then the jiu-jitsu is a whole different thing. And there's nothing tying it together. So that's when I opened my gym, was like, I want to make a place that ties it together, where it's all here. You're not having to travel everywhere. It's all here. We're tying it all together. And that was my goal in life. And that was about 2004. That became my plan. And then yeah, by '08, I had it going. Um, so it's kind of like when I was fighting, I was already more in the mindset preparing to coach than I was to fight. Fighting for me, it was 100%. I just had to prove to myself that I wasn't the biggest wimp on the planet Earth.
Mm,
That was it. And once I'd proved that to myself, I didn't have a whole lot more in it because I'm not really, I don't have a big killer instinct. Like, I just don't. Like, it's just, as long as I can do enough to make sure you can't hurt me, I was usually cool with it.
yeah. I
So,
remember I
yeah,
remember talking to you once in the gym and you telling me a couple times in your fights you remember where you could have hurt somebody and you chose not to
yeah,
because because of that. And
yeah.
then you kind of came to a realization that uh maybe the competing part wasn't for you because you didn't have that killer instinct.
That's 100%. Yeah, and that was it. And yeah, it's just yeah, and I was just realized like once it finally kind of came to realization of that. And when I fought, it was 100% for me. Like there was no team around me. Like I was traveling here, traveling there, buddies would corner me sort of thing. Like it wasn't like a cohesive team that I was representing. So there's nothing more to fight for
Mm,
than just your own self. So I think it would have been different had I been with a team. And I do kind of wonder sometimes, like, had I fully committed to my kickboxing and Muay Thai days just to move to Calgary, put everything I had into it, train a world class gym with Mike Miles, what could I have really done with it?
right.
I wonder about that some days. But, I couldn't. I had too much going on. I was getting my kin degree. I was struggling just to pay for my schooling, pay for food. So, like, there really wasn't an option for me unless I like called my parents and said, "Hey, can you just support me?
Right.
I'm gonna continue to be a child." But in my mind, at 18, you move out and you become a man. That's what you do,
Right.
and your problems are yours now.
Mm,
And I took that to heart too much because I let my problems get bigger than they should have many times before I finally realized, boy, if I had just called on my parents earlier on, this mess wouldn't have got nearly this big.
yeah.
But I didn't want to because I felt like I'm supposed to handle it. It's not their problem anymore. Like, you know, so that was foolish of me to not
Yeah.
realize like there is help out there if you need it.
Yeah.
But, you
It's
know,
funny. It's funny that you say that because I've had this conversation with people. Is like the whole. This is way off topic from
oh,
from,
yeah, it's fine.
but like the whole like um like a lot of foreign countries they work as a team for life. In the Western world, you restart when you're 18,
Yeah, yeah,
and I think that's the dumbest thing.
yeah,
Restarting every time you have kids, they turn 18, they restart, and then they
yeah.
restart, and then they restart. And then there's like all these other countries that are just building these massive legacies because they get to just join nine incomes together.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, that seems like the way.
Yeah, yeah, in some ways, yeah,
Yeah, in some ways.
in some
In other
ways.
ways,
But I
maybe
know for
not.
me too, like, I mean, it's why I run a business is I've always had a very, very intensely independent desire too. I like, I always wanted to make my own way and
Right.
not like, yeah, just not, I was never meant to be an employee. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Cause like, even when I was an employee, like back when I worked at the Brick, the first year I worked full time and the second year I worked full time, I got employee of the year both times. But because I'm gonna do this how I want to do it.
Mm.
And I can do it better than your plan is. So I'm just gonna do it my way. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I just did.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's like, man, this guy gets a lot done. And he's like, he just does.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I've always been like that of like, no, it's just, I got to figure this out myself and I do it my own way and, and go that route. So like, I don't know if I could live in that environment where we all pool together and I don't
Right.
have the independence. I'd have a hard time with that, I think.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
I think okay. for So you went to school for kinesiology.
Yeah.
So when did you start implementing that into your like mixed martial arts training?
Oh, I didn't want to still a fighter. Like when I was still
Okay.
kickboxing a lot, still in school. Yeah. I would, yeah, have heart rate monitor for all my runs. Make sure I'm always gauging where my heart rate is at. 'Cause it shocked me the first time how fast you adapt to with running.
Right.
So be like, okay, I'd run my same 5 mile course. I run at the same speed every time I was getting ready for a fight. I just make sure I made it under this time. And then when I started wearing a heart rate monitor and checking, it's like, oh man, my heart rate is nowhere as close to what it was like 3 times ago.
Mm,
It's like, I got to go faster now because no wonder my condition is not quite where I want it. I'm not pushing it the whole camp. I'm doing a routine that's only putting me here, and I got to get it to here. So once I started wearing the heart rate monitor, then I was like, okay, I got to get to this heart rate. That's what I got to do.
right.
And then I just started realizing like my 5 mile runs were getting very fast, very fast when you're constantly pushing past that. I did that a lot because again, we rented a little garage space actually just down here on Ontario Avenue, me and a few buddies to train in. And that's where we'd practice when I came back from places. Is we'd go into that little bay and just practice the stuff I'd learned. And we have a buddy of mine who's a wrestler to come and work on us with some wrestling and like a real schmozzle of just trying to throw knowledge together, right? In that era.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, so the kinda stuff I put into play pretty quick. Nutritional aspects I put into play all the time, except thing I learned in 2001 to 2005 kinesiology is that nutritional information was already outdated. It was already
Mm,
terrible because I was way too high on carbohydrates for my body because I have a really strong insulin reaction. And I remember going to so many fights feeling like I was starving and shaking and weak. But I was like, well, I did the high carb meal 4 hours ago. I should be perfect. I wasn't. I was in an insulin crash and I felt like I needed more right now.
interesting.
Yeah. And then I started, as I looked into it more, it's like once I started going to more of a higher fat, I was like, oh, my energy levels are way more plateaued, way more consistent, way more level. Says, did that completely wrong for my body type
Right.
when I was competing. And I remember so many fights I'd walk into, like when I walk in the ring, I feel like death, like just so tired, shaky, weak, and hungry. And then now that I learned more about nutrition, I was like, well, that was my insulin system kicking in. All the sugar is fired out of my bloodstream. It's gone to its fat, gone to its muscle, and now my body's craving more. Wants to refill the bloodstream. And that's why it's telling me I'm dying here. My bloodstream is empty. Get more in there.
Mm,
But then I can't go in the fight with a completely full stomach. I didn't realize in that era too, like just the ideas guys are doing now, just eating like gummy bears and stuff like that, just to get that sugar into their bloodstream so they don't have that insulin reaction. But in that era, I was like, well, that's not healthy. I
right.
can't eat gummy bears before I fight. That's completely unhealthy.
I
But
just seen Eric do that in his
yeah,
last fight.
yeah. And then realize now
Just
it's like,
popped a couple.
yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's about satisfying those internal systems that are telling you need something you don't need right now. You trick it. You just load up a bunch of
Mm,
sugar to fire into the bloodstream, and now you're good again. So I wish I would have known that. So that's a big
right.
thing I wish I would have known as a fighter. That would have changed a lot of just how I felt going in the ring and performing.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
feel like I didn't really like in all the places I trained, like honestly, like pretty much every place I went to was like just like a work hard mentality.
yeah.
And like I didn't even really start hearing about like the science behind it until I started training with you and with Eric.
Yeah. And
You two are like probably the first two coaches I've worked with that ex- had not, I guess, reasons, but like it was more.
yeah.
There was more reason behind it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like work hard and that's all you got to do.
Yeah. And that's, back in when I was coaching lots of pros, that was like our I didn't talk to the guys about it a ton, but all of our pad work days, sparring days, grappling days, it was set up to be hitting anaerobic systems, aerobic systems. Like, it was all set up for that.
Right.
Now, the hard part was when I was back in kinesiology in those days, and we were talking to professors trying to figure out how to train to fight. And in that era, fighting wasn't that big yet. Like, there was boxing and stuff, but the old boxing mentality was, well, you run 3 miles a day. That's what a boxer does. And then you hit the pads and you spar.
You spar a lot.
Yeah. And there was no real thoughts to what energy systems are happening here and there. And parts of that are actually pretty good. And they were working the energy systems. I don't know if people were thinking about it, but all of my professors could give me great advice on endurance and great advice on like explosive, but nothing in between.
Mm.
So it's like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, well, I want to fight 5-minute rounds as hard as I can. Well, so it's so you need like endurance? Like, yeah, but I also ought to go hard at times. Oh, so you need like explosive. Well, we can do that. So it's like a football training program. It's like, well, that doesn't work because these football drills are designed to maximally explode for 10 to 15 seconds. Well,
Mm.
I can't do that. I have to go for 5 minutes. Oh, then you need this running program. But now I'm slow. If I do
Right.
this jogging program, I'm slow. I'm not explosive anymore. And there was a lot of that. And that's where Eric is really doing a dynamite job of bringing those things together. Smart guy. He's such a smart guy.
Yeah.
And this work he's doing with the UFC Performance Institute, it's so valuable. Like, the knowledge he's bringing in is so valuable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really got to push more with my guys of like, you got to be tapping this resource, guys. You want to fight? Like, Eric's the man with the conditioning. He's so bang on with it, and he's just a smart dude. Like, he gets it. Like, there's a few things where him and I did a couple similar programs back in the day, like strength and conditioning programs, and like we were talking about it, and he would just put things in a way that like suddenly now understood the program I did 3 years ago. It's like, man, I'm dumb. Like, well, you really grasped that better than I did. Like,
So funny.
like,
It's funny you say that because
yeah,
how even like when I'm coaching and like I could tell they're not getting what I'm saying,
yeah,
I'll call Eric over to explain it. I'm
yeah,
like, how would you explain this? And then he
yeah,
just explains it perfectly. And
yeah,
like, oh, I'm like,
yeah.
now get out of here.
He's so good at that, about bringing things into like how everyone can grasp it right away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's a dynamite resource to have around. I'm super impressed with that guy, and yeah, it's
I'm gonna edit all this out.
yeah,
Can't be complimenting him too much.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah. I think even for you, like you're surprisingly strong.
yeah.
Like I have a lot of weight on you. And I think you could outlift me in every lift, I would think.
At certain times, depends what injury I'm dealing with at the time, but yeah,
Just trying to be humble.
yeah.
Which is like super impressive.
Yeah. Well, the bulk of my training nowadays, that's what I gear it towards, because I'm not competitive. So like, I don't put as much into my endurance as I used to. Like, I will when guys have fight camps, and I'll focus more on my endurance to make sure I can spar with them effectively. And I still spar and grapple every day. So I get a good amount of just general endurance work with that. But strength is the number one thing I work, because almost every guy I grapple is bigger than me. So
Right.
for me to give them proper rounds, I have to be as strong as I can be, or else they're just going to bulldoze right through me. So yeah, so I've always worked on that, of just trying to be as strong as I can be.
Mhm.
And I like it. I like heavy lifting. I like that. It's rewarding, feels good. It helps in day-to-day life a ton, like so much in day-to-day life, where it's just, even like back when I was still a fighter and worked at the Brick, one of the things that got me employee of the year is if we had a 36-inch picture tube TV, remember those old suckers? Like, I could put it on the stand myself. Whereas everyone else, oh, we need some warehouse guys, like, just pick it up. Can't pick that up. Sure can. Boom. So all those kind of jobs I would do in a quarter time everyone else. I didn't have to tie up 2 other guys. I didn't have to wait on them. Just lift it and put it on. Go to
Right.
the next job. So that was yeah. I like being able to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you think of weight training, like there's different like if you hit a plateau, right? Then you can, like deload, maybe
Yeah.
add more reps instead of and then come back up or there's different you can just switch up the training style, and then sometimes you could break a plateau that way. But how do you break a plateau in kickboxing? When you see
Yeah.
somebody who's like stuck.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I've seen that with guys too, where it's just sort of like, "Man, we've gone through every way we can do this, and we just can't seem to get you to move in this way." It's that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you figure it out, let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
no,
hard.
it's tough. Yeah, it's tough, and one other thing too, and this is just a harsh reality, is not everyone gets to be good at it.
Right.
Um, that was one thing I told myself in jiu-jitsu back when I got my purple belt from Jeff Wiley, and I grappled with him. I was like, "Oh god, this guy's good." I came to terms with myself right there. I was like, "Not everyone's ever gonna get to black belt." And I might be that not everyone who doesn't I might be that guy who never gets there. I
Mm,
just may never be fast enough, strong enough, good enough, technical enough. It might never happen because man, this guy's so far ahead of me that like I don't know that I can ever do these things. And then you realize you find your own way, and I still can't do the things he can do, but I can do some other things.
right.
And you start to realize how your path is. But at the same time, I tell my guys straight on, so you will never become a black belt if you suck at grappling. And if you can never develop a certain amount of baseline flexibility, a certain amount of strength, a certain amount of endurance, a certain amount of reading situations, a certain amount of humility, of recognizing who's in front of you and what you're capable of doing with them, you'll never get there. And some guys can never recognize those things. They never get there, and they might train their whole life but never get there.
Mm,
And in my world of jiu-jitsu anyway, I know it's not everyone goes in that mentality anymore, but when I came up, that was the thing is that like it, not everyone's going to get there. You can train jiu-jitsu your whole life. Doesn't mean you become a black belt. Just, you just might not be good enough.
right.
And that's it. That's the reality. And I tell that to my guys all the time. It's like a lot of you can, but you know, don't make that your be all end all. Like be here, get better, find enjoyment. And if you can't find enjoyment in it, you're not going
Mm,
to stick with it. But you gotta, yeah, just be real with yourself. Like I was trying to tell that to some of the guys in class not too long ago. We were one of my guys, like, I just can't seem to get this move to work. And it's like, well, no, he's way too big for you. You can't possibly that move to him. But that's like my number one move. It's like not against him. It's not. You got to find something different. If you want to move up from blue belt to purple belt, you better figure out what that something different is because um, you can't do that to him. You can't. I'm sorry.
right.
But, a lot of guys have a hard time hearing that. And it's just like, you can't. And even some of the bigger guys, well, you can't do that to him because he's just too small and too wiggly. So you got to figure out a different way to contain him because just chest to chest isn't working because there's no chest to lay on. He's small and he's
Mm,
getting out. Like it's yeah, and that's where like still my jiu-jitsu system. I still go with the same way I was brought up, the old school method of like you get upgraded when you get better. That's it. And if you train for 3 years and you haven't got better, you don't get upgraded.
mm.
That's it. Like you don't get a belt and a stripe just for showing up and just yeah, okay. To me, I'm seeing a lot of guys going to the attendance-based system for jiu-jitsu ranking. It's just like, this is why it was so strong and karate and taekwondo and all that lost its luster because they were doing that. They were giving you belts just for showing up. Every X amount of months, you get a new belt on. Whereas jiu-jitsu was real. You could not fake it. You had to actually be better. And we're seeing guys that are like just, oh, you're 6 months, here's this stripe. Okay. 9 months, this stripe. Okay.
Mm.
By a year and a half, you are now this belt. And it's like, well, no, no, it's not jujitsu.
You think that's just to keep people coming?
Yeah, money,
Or money?
especially if you can charge them for every belt test,
Right.
which I've never done either. I've never charged a guy for a stripe. Again, defeats the purpose in my mind.
Mm,
Is like, you're not buying a stripe from me.
Right, right,
Like,
right.
you're here every week training, you got your membership, but you're not buying a stripe from me, right? Like, and I'm not selling you a stripe.
So you
Yeah.
it's got like it's got to show up in competition then,
Yeah,
like there's
really
got to be
does.
gyms who their blue belts just get rolled over.
Yeah.
So then what would make you want to keep going there?
Yeah, you wonder that. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Don't know. But, it's hard to say because you can also have a few of those guys who are just good and they come up through those system and those few guys are good and you're like, "Well, if that guy's good, I gotta be able to get good too
Right.
because 'cause we're doing the same system." So a bit of that where you can fool yourself into thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas that's where with how I do it in the same way I was brought up, like, there's some guys who they're gonna get to blue and purple fast because 'cause they're good, and they may have, like, an extensive wrestling background that just and they're able to apply it really well right away into what they're doing, and they're just gonna get good fast. And, yeah, he came here after you, and he's ranked above you. Well, how do you do grappling with him? Kills you, hey? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how she goes. Yeah, you know, it's just reality. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't I can't wait to start grappling once I'm done boxing.
Yeah, yeah,
And just
it's fun and, like,
it's fun.
yeah, I enjoy it, like, with the guys we have now too, I'm so like, it's so much more enjoyable because like, I got guys in the gym who they'll murder me now. They're younger, they're stronger, they're faster, and they're just the knowledge they've accumulated, how much better the sport has got,
Mhm.
compared to what I've accumulated, and it's just like you guys are ahead of me, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we have some fun rolls, and quite often hold you off for 5 minutes, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Boy, I don't know if I'm ever beating you again. 'Cause I'm just getting older and slower and more damaged, and you guys are coming up on your prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys like that Dustin Betteridge and stuff. Like Dustin's like, man, you're a handful. And it's like you're only getting better. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you're not even 30 yet. You're only getting better yet. Like it's just gonna keep improving as long as you keep putting the time in and keep your body intact. You're only gonna get better. And
Mhm.
I'm not.
Even
Yeah.
when I did that little grappling I was doing the other day, uh, and Eric really made me realize how little I know about grappling.
Yeah, yeah,
Like how easy he makes it look
yeah,
to do whatever he wants with me.
yeah, yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah,
I just need to learn. It's like when you do, it's like when you, like when I watch hockey,
yeah,
I have no idea what's going on.
yeah,
And I realized that's how I am with grappling,
yeah,
even though I thought I knew.
yeah,
But then, like that little couple rounds we did, and I was just asking him some questions. Like, it just opened my eyes to like, okay, I don't know anything.
yeah, and
I thought I knew.
this was wild is when you watch it on TV, like even like a UFC fight, and you see like the commentators, well, why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? And it's like, well, you know why? Because he can feel pressure and weight distributions that aren't allowing him to do the move that's going to get him out.
Right.
Or he can feel that he's being baited into it and he's going to get caught in something way worse if he tries. Like you can see a
Mm,
guy in side control on him, and you can say all day long, Kate, get that far side underhook, get to your hip. And he knows that too. So if he's not doing it, he either can't or he can feel that he's being set up. Like, because you feel it, right? When you're grappling with like when you're grappling with Eric, it's like he's doing things to you that aren't necessarily visible.
yeah.
Like where he's shifting his weight and this and that are changing the entire technique compared to what you think it is. But if you watched a video of it, oh, why didn't I just do this? Why didn't I just do that? It's like if you flash back to that moment, he wasn't letting you. you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good way to say it,
Yeah.
because that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even just saying that, even you just saying that just made me think of a bunch of things, because I still find myself like when I'm watching a fight, I'm just like, frick, just do that.
Yeah.
But that's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
There's obviously weight somewhere, or there's something somewhere where they notice that, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, not as dangerous if I do that now.
Oh, exactly.
And
See,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
'Cause
Crazy to think about.
you see the guys in the UFC now, like they're so good at everything.
Right.
Like to sit there and be like, well, he should be doing this. It's like, man, that guy is so far beyond my skill level that yeah, exactly. That like, if he's not doing it, there's a damn good reason he's not doing it right now. Cause like, yeah, he's feeling things in there that I'm not feeling that you can't really see, but you can feel them when you're in there.
Mm,
Yeah. And sometimes you see them when you're cornering. That's one thing that's weird too, is like you really lose the impression of exertion through a TV screen.
right.
Even when it's a close up, but when like you're in the corner and you can see the muscle fibers working and the breathing rates, you can really see and hear, and like the impacts are different too. Like when you're really there live in the corner, it's a few feet away from it. It's amazing how much more you're seeing than you are on TV.
Mm,
That's where I always get a kick out of guys like, well, that was an early stoppage. It's like you couldn't see the look in the eye that the referee could see.
right.
Because I've seen it in a corner where my guy gets hit with one ground and pound shot, and you can see the lights are out. And you're like, oh shit, he's done. He's done. And then two or three more hit, and the ref stops it. And then after the fight, guys go, man, that was an early stoppage. Why did he stop it there? It's like, if you saw what I saw, that was not an early stoppage.
Mm,
And the referee saw it. I mean, it doesn't translate through a TV screen for some reason. There's something like of a human instinct you have when you're seeing it in live in person where you can really appreciate the damage that happened that just doesn't always translate,
yeah.
you know? I'm sure you've seen that boxing too. Like,
Yeah. Even honestly, like
yeah,
the sounds,
yeah,
because like when like the stoppages I've gotten, like there was a sound
yeah,
that came out of them when I hit them that the recording doesn't pick up.
yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
that you could tell
Yeah,
bothered them
yeah,
worse than anything, and it's yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
yeah. And even on a UFC event where the quality is great and stuff like that, like it's just it isn't quite real world yet. It just isn't. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's yeah, so I anytime guys will say that, do you think that was a quick stoppage? Man, I wasn't in there. I couldn't tell you.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, it does happen too, where that guy gets up and his muscle memory's taken over,
Hmm.
where he may look like he's completely ready to go, but it's like, I'd like to see him 20 minutes from now backstage and how he's doing,
Right. Yeah.
because he could be really out of it right now. And his muscle memory is moving around and got him up on his feet. And like,
Yeah.
there might not be a coherent thought really happening in his head right now. Cause I've seen that too, where guys get up, what, huh, what? And then
Yeah.
you go and after the fight, we'll go into the dressing room just to say, hey, good fight. I'm sorry, quick stoppage. It's like, oh, he's out of it. He has
Hmm.
no idea where he is, this guy right now. It's like, that wasn't a quick stoppage after all. He definitely really was hurt. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just something with the adrenaline and the instincts where you just can sometimes pop up and put on a game face and it's not real. Yeah.
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 Even because when I got stopped, the only time I got stopped, the only time I got an 8 count, I got stopped, and I thought it wasn't that bad. But then, like going back and watching it, it was way worse than I remember.
Yeah.
Like both my legs gave out. I was like, and then one of my friends after said, because they were coming and talking to me, whatever, and then I like said, hey, give him a hug, and I gave somebody a hug twice. They're like, you
Yeah.
already gave me a hug. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
something's not right.
Oh man, it's scary. The first time one of my fighters ever got knocked out was so scary. He was just talking in circles forever. All right, when am
Oh,
I going to fight, coach? Oh, you already had your fight. What? Yeah, you already had
oh
your fight.
wow.
Oh man, so when am I going to fight, coach? And it's just like, holy man, like we just discussed it literally 8 seconds ago, and it went on for a couple hours of just talking in circles like that, and then eventually it all cleared. But it's scary,
That's
scary.
freaky. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've only seen it twice. Well, yeah, that one guy, and then I had one guy came into my gym, didn't fill out his forms properly, which I have an injury section on the forms, and he apparently had a severe concussion earlier in his life, and he didn't mark it on the forms. And he got kicked in the head sparring, and like, yeah, he was out of it. And it was a solid kick, but it wasn't like something where you expect a guy to get knocked out. It was just kind of, oh, it took a good smack there, and all of a sudden he kind of stumbled a little bit. And then I went up to him, say, "You all right?" "Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Just can't quite remember how I got here." It's like, "What do you
Mm,
mean?" Why am I in this place? How did I get here?" It's like, "Oh, you drove. We just had a kickboxing class." "Oh, okay. I just can't quite remember how I got here." And it kept going. And I had to like call his dad. He was like a 25-year-old guy, but like on his contact form, I had his dad's information, got a hold of him and brought him in. And he was like, he should never have been sparring. He was in a severe car crash a few years ago and had a massive concussion. It's like,
crazy.
so now, like, anytime I do the forearms, it's like, you have to tell me about anything and everything. And like, I told him that too, but I guess he just didn't
Yeah,
think of it. But yeah,
yeah, that's scary.
yeah, that was a scary one. Yeah. And then that guy, well, he never trained again. He came back a little while later and wanted to get back into class. And it's like, man, no, no, after the way that went, like, that was, said, "Yeah, if you're going to come back in, you need a note from your doctor saying it's good for you to come back in. I can't bring you. Oh, can I just teach you jujitsu?" It's like, well, no, because you could bump your head falling. Like, it was so bad. Like the way his brain just spun in a spiral like that was so bad, and it was scary. Yeah, so like not until you come in with the doctor's note. If you get a
Yeah,
doctor's note that says you can, then you can, but that never happened, and
yeah,
it's too bad. But it's life.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we don't all get to do everything. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, we're over an hour.
All right. Well,
We're freaking hour and 10.
all
That's
right.
good though.
It's awesome. Well, I guess I should. Yeah, I got to pick up one of my kids here pretty soon. She's been calling me to go pick her up.
Okay,
She's at her
okay.
friend's house. It's no big deal.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you wanted to touch on or anything you wanted to shout out before we wrap it up?
Uh, just the only shout out would be to, the people at my gym that we have that are all contributing factors right now. Like, yourself, Vicky Fairweather, Eric Wilson, and then Marie Robertson and Dave Fontaine,
Mm,
who run the upstairs gym at our place. It's awesome to be able to have such an easy work environment. And like I do my best to keep it easy, but so does everybody else.
mhm.
There's never headaches. No one's fighting over anything ever. We just do our thing. If we need a bit extra, we ask, and there's never a problem. And
Mm,
so shout out to all you guys who make my job easy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah, man. Well,
yeah,
and thanks for
yeah,
making it easy as
yeah,
well and creating the environment that's there
yeah.
because I think you're super humble about it, but I think you should be very proud of yourself of what you've created and what you've done there because it's very welcoming. I've never felt like I shouldn't be there. You make
Yeah.
things very easy. Anyone I bring in, you welcome, and it's been an awesome experience and way different than other experiences I've had.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Yes, I really just try to just be myself at the gym. I don't. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a bit too standoffish. Like, I'm not overly standoffish, but I don't ever really. I don't know how you put it. Like, I don't become a welcome wagon.
Right.
It's just let's talk to people like normal human beings.
Yeah.
Same way I want them to talk to me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
All
Cool.
right, man. That was
Thanks for
awesome.
coming.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome.